At the beginning of the film, we see a mysterious object falling from the sky into a dense mountainous forest. It crashes somewhere deep inside, unnoticed by the world. Soon after, the scene shifts to a deer wandering inside the forest, one of its horns badly injured. It looks confused and disturbed, as if something terrible has just happened. Before it can react, a strange tentacle slowly creeps toward it from behind. The tentacle is covered with smaller moving limbs, and within seconds, it attacks the deer brutally and kills it. This shocking moment reveals the truth. Something alien has arrived on Earth along with that falling object. The story then shifts to a couple, Ruth and Harry, who are traveling toward the same forest. On the way, they stop for lunch at a small place. There, a young waiter nervously asks them if they saw something falling from the sky. Ruth and Harry laugh it off, not taking his words seriously. They dismiss it as imagination and continue their journey into the forest. As they walk deeper, Ruth starts feeling uneasy. Again and again, she gets the strange feeling that someone is watching her. She keeps turning back, but no one is there. Still, the feeling doesn't leave her. By evening, they set up camp, cook their food, and go to sleep. Everything seems normal until the middle of the night. Ruth suddenly wakes up after hearing a strange noise. Curious and slightly scared, she steps out of the tent to check. There, at the edge of the forest, she sees a deer staring directly at her. Something about it feels wrong. The deer has only one horn, the same deer from earlier. Its gaze is unnatural and deeply unsettling, making Ruth feel uncomfortable and scared. Just then, someone places a hand on her shoulder from behind. She is terrified for a moment, but it turns out to be Harry. Relieved, she tries to show him the deer, but when she looks back, it is gone, as if it vanished into thin air. Ruth explains everything to Harry, telling him about the strange noise and the deer watching her. But Harry doesn't believe her. He assumes it's just her imagination and takes her back inside the tent. The night passes and morning arrives. They continue their journey, and Harry takes Ruth to a beautiful hidden spot near the sea inside the forest. It's a peaceful and romantic place. There, Harry proposes to Ruth. But instead of feeling happy, Ruth suddenly starts having a panic attack. Her body reacts uncontrollably, and she struggles to calm herself down. Harry tries to support her, but the situation becomes awkward. Ruth takes her pills to stabilize herself, but the moment leaves tension between them. They return to their camp, and Harry decides that they should leave the forest the next morning. For a long time, both of them sit in silence. Then suddenly, Ruth questions him, asking why he proposed at all. This angers Harry deeply. After being together for 8 years, he expected happiness, not rejection. The argument grows intense, and eventually, Harry walks away into his tent, leaving Ruth alone outside. Once again, Ruth feels that same eerie sensation, as if someone is watching her from the darkness. Ignoring it, she finally goes to sleep. The next morning, when she wakes up, Harry is gone. All she finds is a note saying that he has gone for a walk and will return soon. Left alone, Ruth tries to call her doctor, hoping for help. But due to the lack of signal in the forest, her call doesn't go through. While searching for a signal, Ruth wanders deeper into the forest and reaches a disturbing spot. There, she finds the same deer, the one that had been haunting her since the beginning. But now, it is dead. Its entire body is covered in a strange black liquid, and its mouth is torn apart as if it had been brutally split open. The horrifying sight sends Ruth into another panic attack. She is overwhelmed with fear, unable to process what she is seeing. Just then, Harry arrives and tries to calm her down. Ruth insists that this is the same deer that was staring at her earlier, but Harry refuses to believe it. He tells her that there are many deer in the forest, and judging by its condition, this one must have been dead for months. He explains that the black liquid could be due to some kind of disease and tries to reassure her that there is no real danger. Back at the camp, Harry looks through books related to forest wildlife and confirms his theory that the deer likely died from an illness. He comforts Ruth, promising that nothing will happen to her as long as he is there. While Harry prepares food, Ruth decides to go for a walk on her own. As she moves through the forest, she comes across a mysterious cave. The moment she stands near it, she feels a strange pull, as if something inside is calling her. Unable to resist, she slowly walks into the cave. Inside, she notices a glowing blue liquid resting in one corner, shining in the darkness. As she moves closer to touch it, someone suddenly appears behind her, but we are not shown who it is. Terrified, Ruth screams loudly and the scene cuts away. Meanwhile, Harry waits at the camp for a long time. When Ruth doesn't return, he grows worried and goes out to search for her. He finally finds her in the forest, but something about her feels completely different. Her behavior has changed. She looks emotionless, almost like she is not herself anymore. Harry doesn't fully notice this change and asks her to come with him. Ruth follows him silently, without any expression, like a robot. Later that night, Harry wakes up and realizes Ruth is missing again. Fear grips him as he rushes outside with a light to search for her. Suddenly, Ruth appears behind him, holding his knife. Harry becomes nervous and asks her what she is doing with it. Ruth calmly replies that she heard animal noises and thought something might attack them, so she brought the knife for protection. Harry looks around but finds no sign of any animals. Still uneasy, he takes the knife from her and brings her back inside the camp. Harry falls asleep soon after, but Ruth stays awake the entire night, silently staring into the darkness. Morning arrives, and Harry once again tries to return things to normal. He cooks food and attempts to talk to Ruth, but she remains completely silent. The tension between them grows heavy until, after a long pause, Ruth finally speaks. She apologizes to him, saying she was wrong and that she should have accepted his proposal. Then she suggests they go back to the same place where he proposed earlier. Hearing this, Harry feels relieved and happy. He takes her back to that beautiful spot once again. Just like before, he proposes to her. This time, Ruth accepts and wears the ring. But in the very next moment, she does something shocking. She suddenly pushes Harry off the cliff. He falls down and crashes onto a rock below instead of the water. The impact is so severe that it seems like Harry is dead. Without looking back, Ruth starts running away from the place in a panic. While running through the forest, she suddenly collapses. When she regains her senses, she finds another couple nearby who had also come to camp in the forest. They rush toward her and ask what happened and why she was running like that. Ruth looks confused and scared, and says she doesn't remember anything. The couple realizes that Ruth is in serious trouble and decides to help her. They plan to inform the police, but there is no signal anywhere in the forest. With no other option, they take Ruth with them and decide to leave for the city the next morning. They repeatedly try to talk to her, asking what happened and why she is acting so strangely, but Ruth remains completely silent. Suddenly, Ruth pulls out a knife. The couple is terrified, thinking she might attack them. But instead of harming them, Ruth points towards something behind them. When they turn around, they see something impossible. Harry is standing there, walking toward them as if nothing had happened. There is no sign of injury on his body, not even a scratch, even though he had fallen from a deadly height. The moment Ruth sees him, she panics and runs away. The man who was helping her steps forward to stop Harry. But Harry suddenly reveals something horrifying. A blade emerges from his finger, and he uses it to slash the man brutally. The man's wife screams in fear and runs after Ruth, while Harry calmly begins following them. Now he is hunting them. Ruth realizes the danger and tries to save the woman, but Harry doesn't listen to anything. He brutally kills her, slicing her mouth apart and finishing her without mercy. After that, he turns toward Ruth, pointing the blade at her, and asks how she discovered the truth. That's when the shocking twist is revealed. The Harry standing in front of her is not human at all. He is an alien. Ruth finally explains everything. She reveals that when she entered the cave, she saw a glowing blue liquid inside. And in that same cave, she found Harry's real body, lying lifeless, in the same horrifying condition as the deer. At that moment, she understood everything. The creature she had been seeing was not a deer. It was this alien watching her. After killing Harry, it had taken his form and stayed close to her, observing her every move. The alien has the ability to transform into any being, copying not just their appearance, but also their memories and emotions. After revealing the truth, Ruth runs away again, leaving the alien standing there, confused and lost in thought. Meanwhile, We understand Ruth's behavior from earlier. Her silence, her fear, and her strange actions were all because she knew the truth. The panic attacks, the sleepless night, and the knife she carried, everything was part of her attempt to protect herself. She had planned to kill the creature. That's why she took Harry to the cliff and pushed him. But she didn't realize one thing. He wasn't human. That's why he survived and came back. Now the story reveals the alien side. These beings travel across planets, searching for worlds suitable for their species to live on. This alien had come to Earth for the same purpose: to study life and determine if it was safe for his kind. To do that, he began taking the form of different creatures, learning about them one by one. But during this process, something unexpected happened. By taking Harry's form, he also absorbed his emotions, and for the first time, he experienced something completely new: love. This was an emotion his species had never known, and because of that, he could not bring himself to kill Ruth. Ruth tries everything she can to defend herself. She attacks the creature again and again, but it doesn't react like a normal human. No matter how much she hurts it, the alien keeps healing itself, as if nothing ever happened. Instead of fighting back, it calmly tells her that it doesn't want to hurt her. All it wants is for Ruth to treat it with love, so it can understand and experience this strange emotion even more. Using soft and manipulative words, it tries to convince Ruth to trust it and come along with him. Soon, it reveals something even more terrifying. It shows her its alien ship and tells her the truth. He says that more aliens like him are on their way to Earth, and once they arrive, they will wipe out all humans and take control of the planet. But he claims that he wants to save Ruth. He asks her to come with him to his planet so she can survive. Ruth is completely fed up with his words. She doesn't believe him anymore and stops paying attention to what he is saying. Instead, she notices something in the water nearby: a shark. At that moment, a plan forms in her mind. Acting quickly, she stabs the alien and runs straight into the water. Blood starts pouring from the alien's body, and the smell immediately attracts the shark. The shark attacks the alien, giving Ruth the perfect chance to escape. She quickly runs back toward the forest. Believing she is finally safe, she reaches her camp and sits down, trying to catch her breath. She eats some food and takes her pills to calm her panic attacks, slowly regaining control. But on the other side, the nightmare is far from over. The alien is still alive. It kills the shark and begins healing its torn body once again. Determined, it starts moving toward Ruth, refusing to let her go. This time, it comes up with a new idea. Instead of staying in Harry's form, it decides to take over Ruth completely. It captures her, ties her up inside a container, and attempts to kill her so it can take her form, along with her memories and emotions. Even in this state, Ruth is not completely dead. At the same time, the alien begins transforming into her, experiencing everything she feels. But something goes wrong. As it takes her form, it also inherits her panic attacks and anxiety. Without the pills to control it, the alien starts losing control. The overwhelming fear and stress begin to break it from the inside. Seeing this, Ruth realizes her chance. Even in her weakened state, she starts laughing, realizing that the alien is now vulnerable. As it struggles with the anxiety, Ruth grabs a stone and strikes it with all her strength. She repeatedly hits its head, crushing its face completely, and then runs away without looking back. Finally, she escapes the forest and drives away in her car, believing she has left everything behind. But even now, the horror isn't over. Behind her, the alien heals itself once again, now fully in Ruth's form. As she drives, the alien starts speaking to her through the car radio, sending chills down her spine. Ruth realizes the truth. These creatures are not going to leave her alone. In the post-credit scene, the final twist is revealed. Multiple alien ships begin crashing into the same forest, just as the creature had warned. Its entire colony has arrived on Earth, and soon they will wipe out humanity and take over the planet. With this terrifying realization, the story comes to an end.